An Englishman, a Scottishman, and an Irishman walk into a bar. The Englishman wants to leave, so everyone has to leave.
How was Northern Ireland considered when this was?
I don't think it was considered at all.
Brexit is the exit of the United Kingdom based on the wishes of Great Britain.
The exact word Theresa May used was that,
in accordance with the wishes of the British people, the United Kingdom is leaving the European Union.
Great Britain consists of Scotland, England and Wales. The United Kingdom consists of Scotland, England and Wales and Northern Ireland. So you know what I mean, even in our language it shows that I think definitely when it first happened there wasn't much thought. I'm struggling to see any positive for the Northern Ireland.
The question of Northern Ireland and its border is possibly the biggest obstacle in the way of Brexit. We came here to find out why, and to understand the consequences for the people who live here. For the last century, Northern Ireland has had to wrestle with its identity, torn between Protestants who consider themselves British Unionists and Catholics who mostly identify as Irish nationalists. The divide brought years of conflict. In 1968, the Catholic minority rose up against Union and British control, spurring 30 years of brutal sectarian violence known here as the Troubles. In 1998, both sides compromised under the Good Friday Agreement, which created a somewhat unique reality here. Northern Ireland would continue to be part of the UK, but also open its border completely with the rest of Ireland. Today, the streets are peaceful, but the history of the Troubles is everywhere, and neighborhoods are color-coded along sectarian lines. Here in Londonderry, or Derry, depending on whom you ask, walls like this one separate Protestants from Catholics. The gate is locked every night. For punk band touts, this us and them mentality has informed more than just their music.
I've lived here 22 years, my whole life, basically, and there's places in Derry I've never been, or I've never walked through. I think that's crazy.
Are you aware of this sort of division?
Well, it's kind of rough because there's like the Bog side, which is the mainly Catholic area. Then there's here, which is clearly like the more Protestant area, but very divided, even though there's trying to like do more, what is it called? And they like integration or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're still trying to do it, but there's still a lot of division.
People told us those divisions have deepened since the Brexit vote. Under Brexit, Northern Ireland would leave with the UK, and the Republic of Ireland would remain in the EU. An idea that appears to overlook the reality on the ground here. We headed east to visit more border communities, and actually crossed into the Republic of Ireland multiple times without even realizing it, in part because the border is mostly invisible.
Hello, good morning everyone. My name is Florence and welcome to our cross-border conference, Brexit and Young People Can You Hear Us?
Many of these high school students commute seamlessly from one side to the other to attend school every day. They worry that Brexit will bring new restrictions.
Has anybody else any strong views on that? Like, how would you see yourself in relation to people who live in the north?
If you have an Irish passport, in my mind you're Irish. Doesn't matter where your parents are from, doesn't matter what background you have. If you carry an Irish passport, you're Irish.
A key part of the Good Friday Agreement allows residents of Northern Ireland to choose their citizenship, British, Irish, or both.
I think I identify as Irish, but I mean I hold a British passport, so really for me identity isn't ever something that in my family was a massive issue. My parents kind of said, you identify as how you feel, and I think that was a really nice way to bring us up.
But depending on how the deal is struck, Brexit could interrupt the free flow of people and goods and possibly violate the Good Friday Agreement. Alan McFarlane raises cattle and sheep a few miles north of the border. He gets his feed from a distributor in the south. It's a transaction that happens regularly, without border checks, custom duties, or tariffs. Well, for now.
No one knows what the final result is yet going to be. We just approach our business each and every day having made an assumption that post-Brexit we will be trading with the same people on the same terms.
Did you feel strongly about leaving or remaining?
I was actually undecided in the matter to the extent that I didn't vote at all. And I don't really want to get involved in the political argument at all. But having that said, in Northern Ireland, the majority of the vote was in favour of remaining in the EU.
That's because many people here remember the border as a source of hostility and violence. And a whole generation since then has grown up without one.
I certainly don't see any need for a hard border.
No one wants to bring back a hard border because a hard border just means trouble.
Yeah, it'll just make things much harder.
But when Prime Minister Theresa May tried to introduce something called
the Northern Ireland Backstop, the Northern Ireland Backstop, the Northern Ireland Backstop,
a provision that would guarantee an exit without a hard border in Northern Ireland, hardline Brexiters rejected it. They argued an open border would essentially keep the UK tethered to the EU until a viable trading relationship is established. So, no hard border, no deal, and so far no Brexit. Also, no sense of where this could all lead.
I would be in favour of a second referendum.
I want to see Ireland reunified.
Well, we've got to adopt a trauma-informed approach and think about everything from the perspective of those who've been a victim of violence.
Siobhan O'Neill is a mental health expert who studied the continued effects of the country's bloody history on people here.
It's almost reopened old wounds because you see the Brexit divisions along the same divisions as the conflict. But we're usually able to work things out, and we've been through harder times than this before.
This paranoia, when will it end? I've heard it all before and I'm hearing it again.
I think I'm just really scared about the future of Northern Ireland. I love living here and I think it's a lovely place to live and the crack's really good and everyone's really friendly, and I don't want that to be dragged backwards into a past that was really, really dark for so many people. And I think, you know, there's so many good things about Northern Ireland and I just don't want those to go away.